I was talking to somebody, and we were just talking about death, and what our wishes are when we die. Do we want to be cremated? Do we want to be buried? And the person was making a joke talking about, if you don't follow my wishes, I'll come back. I said, now listen, if you get up, I'm pushing you back. You better stay down. If you leave here, I don't need you to come back.
Stay gone.
Okay, stay where you are, because you're not gonna get the reaction you expected.
Yeah. True story, man. True story. What's going on, family? Welcome back to the Cinema Goodness Podcast. I'm Kaheem. This is JP. What's going on, JP?
Nothing much. I'm glad to be here. How about yourself?
Doing good, man. A little tired, man. I took my kids out to run today. The heat was kind of moldering, but we all good, man. I'm happy to be here as well, man. We got a good one for y'all today. We're going to be talking about the old guard. It's an oldie, but it is a goodie. No pun intended. We're going to be rocking out with some trailer reactions. We got Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein. We also got Stranger Things Season 5 teaser trailer. And we also got Gen V teaser trailer, man. Season 2, man. I'm excited for that. Looking forward to it. And we're going to end things off with Captain America Brave New World. It's a packed episode today, man. We got a lot to talk about. Can't wait to get into it. So sit back, relax, grab some popcorn. Let's get into the cinema goodness.
The Cinema Goodness Podcast. Rewatch of the week.
All right, man. Old guard.
Yes, our rewatch. Rewatch for me.
First watch for me.
Okay. All right. Led by a warrior named Andy, played by Charlize Theron, a covert group of tight-knit mercenaries with a mysterious inability to die have fought to protect the mortal world for centuries. But when the team is recruited to take on an emergency mission and their extraordinary abilities are suddenly exposed, it's up to Andy and Niall, played by Kiki Lane, the newest soldier, to join the ranks to help the group eliminate the threat of those who seek to replicate and monetize their power by any means necessary. The Old Guard is a 2020 American superhero film directed by Gina Prince Bythewood and written by Greg Rucka, based on his comic book of the same name. Stars Charlize Theron, Kiki Lane, Matthias Schoenaerts, Marwan Kenzari, Luca Marinelli, Harry Melling, Veronica No, and Chiwetel Ejiofor, and follows a team of immortal mercenaries on a revenge mission.
Man, shout out to the director, Gina Maria Prince Bythewood. She's phenomenal, man. She's a great director. Loving Basketball, The Woman King, Beyond the Light, Secret Life of Bees, man. She got a good catalog, bro. So, yeah, shout out to her. And she's going to be directing the part 2, the one that's coming out soon. Those are part 2.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah, man.
It's actually, sometimes people don't see this happening in the background, but when you can keep those same, creative folks in the background of a good movie for the sequel, that can always bode well.
Sure. So the girl, Kiki Lane, I thought that was Riri at first. The girl that's playing Riri. I'm like, man, she looks real familiar, but that's not her at all. So I was really wrong on that.
She almost looks like a younger Wunmi as well. Yeah. Like there's a few scenes where she looks like Wunmi as well.
Yeah. Man, she did a phenomenal job. Charlize Theron, phenomenal job. The story was cool because I like the way they opened it, man. Like they had everybody on the ground, bloody, dead, and I'm like, bro, how you gonna kill the main character in the first part? I don't know how this all gonna tie in, but they made it work, bro, and it's very well done. I loved it. What you think
Absolutely, it's
about
one of these. It's one of those I would say under the radar
it? Mm-hmm.
because wasn't like a huge blockbuster, but when you watch it, it has a very good storyline,
Mm-hmm.
and it's based on a comic, so it has some interesting IP that is based on that. You can tell that they're pulling from some source material, which is always good.
Yeah.
To be able to have something to rely on and kind of be your guiding star in these types of things. We've seen, some really big IP out there that, once the written material is done, directors and producers kind of get a little rudderless and lose their way. So this is really good. I enjoyed it. I think
Yeah.
it's like a surprise. If you've never seen it, you watch it, you will be pleasantly surprised. And plus, the sequel is coming out early next month, July.
Yeah, man. For sure. Like I like how they did the immortal part. I haven't seen a movie where they touched on like the immortal part like that, and it was like very grounded. Usually
Hmm.
it's just like, oh, a person can't die and that's it. But it gave this like some boundaries. Like, okay, yeah, you're immortal, but you still can die. Like after a certain amount of time, that immortality kind of like dwindles off and you become human. And
Hmm.
I thought that was very clever, man. It was like they did a really good job with that.
They still feel pain.
Hmm.
And then like the way they humanize them, even though they're like superheroes because of their abilities and purely being that old
Hmm.
is almost becomes a superpower because you have battled so much, you have experienced so much that you can do things that other people can't do. You can anticipate things that other people can't and really anticipate because these people have been in wars and fighting for so many years, centuries essentially. So I think that becomes a superpower in and of itself. But what I loved about this movie is they brought they really humanized them and brought the everyone thinks about these powers. Oh, I want to have superpowers, but man, this shows you the reality of how some of this stuff is really terrible if you think
Right.
about it. I mean, you lose your whole family. You're going to outlive all of them. If you fall in love with somebody, if you have children, you're going to
Yeah.
watch those people die.
Yeah. Yeah. They really they took the mysticism out of and the grandeur out of immortality, man. I like that
Hmm.
conversation that what's his name was having. I forget his name. Was it Nikki? Nikki? Or the other guy, Sebastian. One of them was telling Niall about the experience. I I had kids. I had three sons. And then they got older and they died. They wanted me to save them, and they thought I have some
I
mystic
think that was
power.
Buck.
But okay, yeah. So yeah, it was just like he really brought us into that world. Like, yeah, you think about immortality and how you want it, but you don't think about the other side of it, like you said. And that conversation really kind of like demystifies it. Like, yeah, man, like I'm gonna lose people. I'm gonna have people who look at me and think I got the answers, and I don't. I'm just living this experience. And yeah, it was just really grounded in that way. That the relationship between Andy and her friend, the first girl, Quinn, I think it was, uh, how they met and they started fighting in wars and stuff, and then they took her and put her in the ocean in this iron coffin, and she just drowned and died, and then woke up and drowned again, and so on and
Horrible
so
death.
forth. This is crazy.
Just in a cycle. And I think you're right. His name was Sebastian. I don't know where I got Buck from. Sebastian.
It's probably like a nickname because I kind of remember that being in the movie. Maybe like a
Hmm.
nickname, but yeah, that even that part was just dope. I like how they brought the villain element into it, like somebody's trying to use their blood to kind of like heal the world, which is the motive behind it was positive. Like he wanted to heal the world and cure disease and all of that stuff. But on the other side of that, is like the villain side. Like I'm gonna take from other people to try to make the world a better place, and that's kind of like the fine line. You know, we talk about villains all the time and kind of like their motivation, and like when I seen the guy Merrick,
Mm-hmm.
I was just like, it makes sense, but the the length at which he's trying to go to see his dream come is kind of like his downfall. And I thought that was really well done, man.
And I mean, he stands to make money too. So
Yeah,
I mean, I understand he's gonna try to save the world, but I realize that that God complex that he has a lot to do with how much money he's gonna be able to command for essentially being able to create drugs that might prevent people from every kind of illness ever dying again.
hmm
So yeah, he's definitely interested in the money aspect of it too.
hmm Then we got
But he I would say his character of all the characters was the most recognizable. He's the villain that I've seen before.
yeah,
Okay, because he's a scientist that will go to any lengths to accomplish a goal, regardless of what the collateral damage is.
hmm
And I would say he's the least unique character in the entire show.
I
The
agree
thing
with
I
that.
do like is they do a little bit of misdirection because they make us think that Chiwetel Ejiofor is the villain, but he's just like a pawn. He's part of the villainous scheme, but not really. He's just a broken person because of how he ended up watching his wife, die,
Yeah,
and not be able to speak, not be able to move, not be able to breathe on her own. So he wasn't expecting it to go this far.
yeah,
He's the enabler in the story, essentially.
right. Yeah, they had a lot of good scenes, man. The
Hmm.
action was there. Charlize did phenomenal. Seeing her move like that, I said she must have been watching John Wick, man. She must have been having the same people kind of train her, man, because she was moving really well.
Hmm.
Sometimes you could see it was like a double, but for the most
Hmm.
part, it was her. She was doing her thing. But she did really well.
No, but she has a pretty good resume of
Mm.
action at this
Yeah,
point. She's
yeah.
got quite a few movies where she's had to do fight choreography. So,
hmm
I mean, I don't know that there's anything she's been in that I saw that I didn't like.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true. She got a lot going on. Uh, yeah, man, it was just a dope film. I really like the aesthetics of it. The look they did really good with the the product placement and the set development. The plane that they was on, that rickety plane, and they had that fight scene on the rickety plane. Uh, that was dope.
That was
Uh,
hilarious.
it wasn't too much bad I could say. I'm excited to see the second one, and I'm kind of pissed I waited so long to watch it. It just really wasn't on my radar, and like,
Hmm.
yeah, I'm pleasantly surprised with that.
Exactly. I'm glad you enjoyed it. This one, I would say, the only movie that I can think of that really showed you the downside of immortality like this was maybe Interview with the Vampire, when Kirsten
Oh wow.
Dunst's character gets turned into a vampire as a kid. And
Mm-hmm.
it's this horrible thing because now she's going to have to live the rest of her immortality as a
As a kid,
kid.
yeah.
And won't be able, people will be, afraid to have relationships with her, even though she's old, but she looks like a kid. So I love the way that this was like, this is really what the movie was about. The movie was
Yeah.
about that aspect and how, you know, in reality, it's a huge downside to
Mm-hmm.
having this power. But I think that in the end, they're able to, because of the length of time that they live, they're able to kind of overcome some of those things. Because I mean, when you live that long, I mean, what's the point of holding grudges?
Right. Because they gonna die anyway. The person that you mad at is gonna be gone. what, what did you think about? Okay, so we get to this point in the movie to where one of them betrays the group, right? So this is kind of like one of my only problems with the movie because
Okay.
his explanation was kind of like we've lived our life as far as we can. We kind of want to help other people, you know, and just like his reason for his betrayal was kind of like it wasn't heavy enough for me, you know, for him to be living this long and get to this point to where he's just tired. I guess he's tired of living. Is that what? But I don't know. Like he wants to do something bigger, or I don't know. It was kind of confusing for me in that point. Like I just don't get that. Like that was stupid. You know.
Now, okay, this is what I got from it because it definitely is a plot device. But if you remember when it was first revealed that he had betrayed them, he was saying this is the way to figure out if they can use technology to figure out how to help people and extend life. Maybe they can also help us end it. And I think this goes back to what he was saying to Niall. I think he carries a lot of pain, like more than them. And see, the group, there's 4 of them that are together. You have 2 that are a couple. Then you have Andy, the guy that she was with, who was older. I assume the movie alludes to him being older than her.
Okay.
So he was they kind of looked like a Black Pharaoh kind of character.
Yeah.
So when they did the flashbacks, that's who she was with. Even when they went into the abandoned mine, there was a portrait of her and him, like a marriage portrait. So she had lost her love, and then it was the character who betrayed everyone had lost all of his family and the people he loved. The other 2 characters were together, so they had their love, and so he I think he was bearing all of the alone, like this loneliness and pain. And I think he felt like, well, Andy feels the way I feel, so maybe she wants a way to end this. And that's kind of what he was trying to explain. What he didn't know, though, is that she had already stopped healing.
Yeah.
And so when he shot her and then she didn't heal, he freaked out. Because he knew he made a horrible mistake.
Yeah. And that's kind of like the twist. Like, and I like that part that it gets to a point in your life and immortality where you just start to die. You know, like they said, you like nothing lives forever. Everything must die. That's kind of like one of the things that they said. And that was a good powerful point. So you explaining that to me kind of gives me a little bit more clarity about why he did what he did. And another thing that you said, it makes it hard to hold a grudge. You know, like as we get to the end of the movie, they kind of like everybody's sitting around talking about what they're gonna do with this guy who kind of betrayed him, and you know, they gave him a life sentence, I guess, of 100 years to kind of like roam by yourself and being like exile. And that's kind of like a fate worse than death for this guy because he's already been alone for so long, and he had this group, and now he doesn't. You know, he has to kind of live. But you know, which was cool though. They kind of brought that person back. What's her name? Quinn. I
thought they were calling her Queen.
Yeah.
And maybe Queen, but when I look at it here, it's Quynh. So maybe Quinn.
Yeah, they brought her back. They brought her back.
That's the mid. Was that was like a mid-credit scene, right? Or it wasn't a credit scene. It was right at the end of the movie.
Yeah, it was right at it was like a 6 month later type of thing. He's all drunk and like all down on himself, and then Quinn gets out her iron coffin, and okay, so how did I got questions, man, and that's why I'm excited for the second one, because how she found him, right? Why didn't she go look for Andy, and how the hell did she get out of that coffin? Like that, these are things,
questions that need answers.
Yeah, for sure, man.
So the second movie definitely is going to have to answer those questions. And they talked about the fact that because they're all connected, they dream about each other. Yeah. Even Niall had a dream about her. Right. And that's how they knew for sure she was, connected with everyone. And when they explained that she was in that coffin under the water, just dying, reviving, and drowning again. And they said that will make anyone crazy.
Yeah.
I think that she's coming with a vengeance.
Yeah.
I think that she's going to conscript Sebastian, and I think she might be mad as hell with Andy that they didn't do more to find her, especially since they're connected. But I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
That's a thread, man, because like it shows kind of like how they are opposite now. Because Andy on some let's save the world, but I feel like Quinn is gonna be on some let's burn it down. You know what I'm saying?
Most definitely.
And they go.
I think the second movie is gonna be pitting them against each other big time. Because she's gonna definitely want to burn it down, and if the other ones get in her way, she's gonna burn them down too.
Yeah, and Andy can't heal that we know of at this point in this story. She can't heal like she needs to. So, yeah, man,
need to give her a blood transfusion or something. Yeah. Fix her, because she is the best fighter. She's the oldest one. She's got the most experience. She can clear any man.
Yeah, that's scene in that church. That church, man, she started eating them up. Oh man, I was like, yeah, she did her thing, man. She did her thing. It's a lot of good stuff about it, man. Yeah, got a good one. So, one of the things that I thought was cool was kind of like how Niall's character kind of like started off. She's like in the army or in the Marines, and she has this operation, and she finds out through this little altercation that she's immortal. But this is my thing, right? The person that was in her, like in there with her, was kind of like looking around. She wasn't paying attention, right? Now it gets slashed in the neck, and then the girl starts panicking and stuff, and then they kind of cut to the base. The cut's not there anymore, but everybody's treating her so weird. It's not like they're happy that she's okay. It was none of that. Like, it was like, there she go. Like, they're all whispering and looking at her all weird. They about to take her to what is that, Greece or something, to kind of like have her tested. And that's kind of like when Andy comes in and shuts it down. But that's kind of like, what did you think about that? Like that whole scene where people are like looking at her like and not really concerned, like they're not concerned. They're more scared of her than anything. It seems like
scared. They are scared. Man. And it's because they know that her neck was slashed completely open and people don't survive that.
Yeah.
Now that she not only survived it, she has no scar.
Yeah.
So
I would have been on something. That's amazing. Like, are you okay? Such and such. Nah, people was just like, there she go, and all of it. Like, it's so weird. But it is military based, so I kind of understand the dynamic. But that was kind of like another.
Humans are typically afraid of things that they don't understand, and I think history bears that out. So I would give them grace on that, because I know. Let me tell you, I was talking to somebody, and we were just talking about death, and what our wishes are when we die. Do we want to be cremated? Do we want to be buried? And the person was making a joke talking about, if you don't follow my wishes, I'll come back. I said, now
Yeah.
listen, if you get up, I'm pushing you back. You better stay down. If you leave here, I don't need you to come back.
Stay gone.
Okay, stay where you are, because
Right.
you're not gonna get the reaction you expected. Come back.
Yeah. True story, man. True story. Yeah. So Charlize is only 49, man. 49 years old. She's doing great. Doing great, man. The villain, I remember him, Harry Melling, I think that's his name. I remember him from Harry Potter series. He grew up on screen, man, so it's good to see him still working. You know, and in the villain role, you know, that was pretty well done. Marwan Kenzari, I remember him from... He was Jafar in the new Disney in Aladdin with Will Smith in the live action. He was Jafar. That's why I remember his face from. So,
Oh wow. Okay.
yeah. I don't know if anybody remembers Aladdin, the live action with Will Smith, but he was Jafar, Marwan Kenzari. He's a great actor. So, what would you get his film? Well, I'm gonna go first, right? And I'm gonna take a page out of your book and add a 0.5. I'm gonna go 8.5. We'll go 8.5.
Okay. I'm going to go. I'm gonna match you 8.5. 8.5. Yeah. I really like this movie.
Yeah, I love it. I thought it's definitely something I'll watch again, right? And I may watch it before the second one comes out, just so I could have a little bit more roll into it.
Yeah, and catch all those little details. Because
Yeah.
every time you rewatch, you catch something you missed the first time.
Sure. Yes,
That was our rewatch of the week.
Yes, sir. Let's go. All right, man. Moving on to some trailer reactions, man. Let's go ahead and go with Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein first.
I had determined that the memory of my evils should die with me. Some of what I will tell you is fact. Some is not. But it is all true. What manner of creature is that? What manner of devil made him? I did. I had a vision. An idea took shape in my mind. Inevitable. Unavoidable. Until it became truth. In seeking life, I created death.
That looks
good.
It does. It looks really good, man.
I guess they're going to be saving the
man.
reveal of the monster until we get to see the movie.
Yeah. I don't know if they're going to have the classic look, though. You know, he always had that kind of like a fade top hat. I don't know. but it might be a little different. But it looks really good, man.
Yeah, modern interpretation. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, man.
You know, some people are gonna scream foul no matter what. So
yeah,
if it ain't got the square head with the screws on the side, it ain't Frankenstein.
Yeah, it ain't Frankenstein. But yeah, I'm excited about that. November. Let's see, November when?
It's probably Thanksgiving debut, huh?
I don't see it.
That's a classic IP right there. There have been so many interpretations of that.
Yeah, people already saying they feel like it should be released in theaters, but it's definitely gonna be on Netflix. So
that's Netflix?
Yeah.
Oh wow!
It's too good for Netflix. Everybody going there. They want the movie on the theaters, man. Let me ask you this though. Like we do the movie reviews and stuff. Do you feel that they are getting away from like the movie-goer experience? They want everything to be like streamed. Do you feel like it takes away from like going to the movie, buying the ticket, sitting in the theater with other people, and just enjoying the film? I see a lot of people just going to streaming now. What do you think about that?
Man, I would say it's a double-edged sword, because going straight to streaming feels like when movies went straight to VHS or DVD. You knew it went that way because it wasn't very good. But by the same token, there are some hits out there on streaming. Now, how they do their business is up to them. Like Tabitha Brown would say, that's not my business. I enjoy being able to see a great movie at home. But there's some movie experiences that you just have to have in the theater. Like I ran across a compilation of the movie theater experiences that people had during Endgame. And let me tell you something. You could not have had that hair-raising, goosebumps feeling at home by yourself. Everyone who was in the theater, when those moments happened, man, it was the craziest thing. It's that communal experience. It's something about when people do something together. It's crazy how it feels different. So, that's why I say it's a double-edged sword. I love when I can see a great movie streaming. At the same time, some are just it does it a disservice. You need to see it.
It's something about when you feel like erupting and you look to your left or your right and you see the same, like another person erupting. It's like, I'm where I'm supposed to be. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. It's you have a permission structure.
Go
a little wild.
Sure,
yes, I mean it's a cool thing, and then being able to go back and watch the videos of people reacting, it's crazy. It makes the goosebump. It makes your hair on. You feel it all again because you were there.
And you know exactly how you felt.
Exactly.
Cool stuff. All right, man. Let's move on. Stranger Things 5, season 5.
And this is the last season, so they got to close the story.
I think about that night all the time. The night it came for you. The night all of this started. Everything changed. We failed.
Okay. Let me tell you, this is peak acting right here, man. This part, this guy right here, phenomenal.
Run!
That's phenomenal right there.
Let me tell you, and you know what? Just to be a hypocrite and go against everything I said about 20 minutes ago, for this to be something that's based like there's no book, there's no comics, for it to be this freaking good is, I have to say, it's a unicorn in that aspect because there aren't too many that are this good. This show has been captivating from the beginning. I'm so glad that they are bringing it to an end, and it looks like they're going to do a very good job bringing it to a close.
Yeah, a lot of
I'm down. I'm excited.
Yeah, man, for sure. A lot of times we see like stories, and it's so good that you want them to keep going, and it gets to a point to where you wish that they had it. But I feel like you said, this is going to end right when it needs to, and it's going to be great. I can't wait, man.
Absolutely. It's
No, I was just gonna say I need to watch the previous season again, like the last couple episodes, because I remember that scene where they was kind of like standing on the hill and everything was on fire, but I don't remember what led up to that. I think they was in like the underground, not the underground, but the upside down, and they end up coming out. And that's kind of like when we saw the villain, the guy, the main antagonist guy. But yeah, it's gonna be dope. That was peak acting. That run. Now it looked like something taking over him or something.
Exactly. And he has had a complicated history with the Upside Down in the very first episode, and they're giving us breadcrumbs that the evil might be overtaking him. I don't know. Man. I think it's worth. When is it's
November. They just said November. I think November. It could have been like November 2nd or something.
I saw November. Then
I got it right here.
For the first half, and then Christmas. The second half, the finale is New Year's Eve.
Yeah, so
something like that.
November 26th is volume 1. So that's right before Thanksgiving. November 26th.
It's going to have 8 episodes.
And I think this is fine. It's going to be fine. 8 episodes. I think because we've seen it, everything we're kind of like at the end anyway. So we just need to know how they're going to kind of defeat the Upside Down, or what's going to happen with it, what's going to go on with 11 and her connection with it and all of that stuff. So, yeah, man, that's going to be dope.
So, here's the plan. How many episodes are in season 4? Because we need to do a rewatch of every episode leading up to the episode 5 premiere. And then it's going to be 2 big bunches. So, you're going to have the first 4 drop in one, and then the next 4 drop. Are you down?
I'm down. I love Stranger Things, man.
Yeah.
For it to be so, I don't want to say strange, but for it to be so like unique in storytelling and to still be captivating, it's kind of like when Ghostbusters first came out. It's something that you really haven't seen before, but it just like catch you. And it's like, oh man, I'm in love with it. I don't really know why, but it's something about the storytelling just grabs you, man. And they do a very good job of telling the stories.
Exactly. And they're blending sci-fi, they're blending fantasy, they're blending horror, they're blending suspense. They're hitting
got a little romance in there.
Exactly. Yeah. They're hitting so many different things, and none of it feels forced at all. Right. So I think that's why it has really captured people. I'm super excited.
Yes, sir. Sure. All right, man. We rolling. We got another one. Gen V season 2 teaser trailer.
Welcome back.
Good to be back. Thanks for letting me re-enroll. I'm grateful.
You're an eye twitch away from leaping across this table and ripping my throat out with your teeth. I get why you're upset after what happened.
Stay behind me.
Hey, you guys.
What the fuck?
He betrayed them. I
I'm
remember
Cypher,
this now.
your new dean.
It is time that humans learn that what runs through our veins is true thought blue.
Nothing good will come of this. Nothing ever does.
We're gonna burn the school down to the motherfucking studs.
Let's fucking go.
I will be preparing you to push your powers to their fullest potential. You are not students. You're soldiers, and you will fight.
Bless your hearts and hold on to your butts.
We should run.
What we should be doing is
Disrupt. Break shit. Fuck shit up.
whatever we do it together.
What really happened to my son?
You have no idea what you're dealing with.
Let's go. 3, 2. Sophomore year is gonna be lit.
All right. Gen V. I like the way the first season ended. They kind of like bringing the boys' characters into it and like connecting the storylines. I think it was fun. I like the girls' power, the blood bending type of thing. So yeah, I think that was kind of new, but they also tied it to the girl from the boys that ran for like governor or mayor or something. And how she had kind of like had people's head exploding.
Head popper.
Yeah, the head popper, right? So yeah, man, it looks like it's gonna be very entertaining. I want to see how they take it. I'm reserving like my full comments until I see it. But the boys is kind of like for me is kind of like running its course. So I'm feeling like this is like refreshing. It's kind of like because I'm kind of getting tired of the Homelander. What's his name? The other guy. Hoyt, not Hoyt. What I'm talking about? What's his name? The one that opposes Homelander. I forget his name. But yeah, that storyline.
Yeah, you're talking about
What is his name?
Carl Urban's character. I can't think of his name.
Yeah, Carl Urban character. But yeah, so I'm kind of running my course with that. Kind of want to see what else is in the boys universe, and that's why I'm kind of more excited to see this and see how they kind of branch off. Because I still see the fish guy in here.
And the girl who's supposed to be a representation of MAGA, who's on she's essentially like a Fox News host now. I think her name is Sparkler or something like that. I don't care for her at all.
I thought she died in the last season though of the boys. She didn't die?
No,
in the boys
I
the
don't
last season? Because it was her and Starlight was supposed to be going at it. Maybe she didn't die. Maybe I'm thinking about somebody else.
No, if you remember at the end of the last season, they were in the big fight trying to pit Soldier Boy against Homelander because Soldier Boy, they come to find out that he is Homelander's father.
Yeah.
And they were trying to get So I believe this is the end of the last season. They're trying to get Soldier Boy to. We didn't switch over to the boys, by the way. This is the boys, not Gen V. They were trying to get Soldier Boy to kill Homelander, but because that was placing Homelander's son in jeopardy, that ended up screwing that whole plan up. But yeah, I'm with you. I think I enjoy. Maybe it's the kind of the over-the-top irreverent humor of the boys that kind of gets old. And the closer it gets to like Deadpool-ish is where it's going to lose me, because that's just, it's not my cup of tea. I think Gen V does a better job of keeping it as like a suspenseful drama, and on top of the sci-fi and all of the crazy stuff happening. But I like the tone that Gen V is setting as well. And I think the boys, we never know, they may reset. Their last season, they were making a big political statement about Trump, essentially, because Homelander was like a version of Trump and MAGA and all that kind of stuff. So that was what that season was about. So hopefully the next seasons of both will be a little bit better. But yeah, I'm excited for Gen V. I hate that the actor in real life passed away in an accident, and he's the son of the character who was asking about what really happened to my son. So they're gonna create some reason for him dying in the show. And then the this trailer reminded me of that girl that betrayed her friends when they were trying to get there. They had their scheme all set up, and she betrayed them. I severely dislike her.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but it looks good. I'm excited about it.
Yes, sir.
Good TV. Just like they said, television killed the radio star. Let me tell you something. Television is killing movies right now with how good of writing is happening in these TV series. That is, to piggyback and as a callback to what we talked about a few moments ago, that's a big reason why less people are going to the theaters, because when you have better than movie theater writing that you can stream from home, why go to the theater? Because if you go to the theater, last few times I went, last time I went on a matinee, the time before that, when I saw Sinners in IMAX, that's like a $30 ticket. Yeah. So I mean, if now Sinners was worth it, but let's say it hadn't been a movie that I enjoyed, that'll make people stay at home because they know they have streaming options at home that are blowing some of these movies out of the water.
Right. And we talked about that. We talked about that a couple videos ago, a couple episodes ago, about the time it takes for writing and the opportunity it affords you to kind of like delve into the story a lot more when you're talking about series and stuff. So that's another reason why I enjoy series over movies, just because I get a chance to binge and get involved in the story and learn the characters. And it's not just like a one-off type of thing. So
exactly.
Can't wait.
Those were all good. I'm excited for all of those trailers.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, fam. So moving on to our movie review, Captain America, Brave New World.
Captain America, Brave New World. Anthony Mackie returns as the high-flying hero, Sam Wilson, who's officially taken up the mantle of Captain America. After meeting with newly elected U.S. President Thaddeus Ross, Sam finds himself in the middle of an international incident. He must discover the reason behind a nefarious global plot before the true mastermind has the entire world seeing red. Captain America Brave New World is a 2025 American superhero film based on Marvel Comics, featuring the character Sam Wilson as Captain America. Produced by Marvel Studios and distributed by Walt Disney Studios Motion Pictures, it is the fourth installment in the Captain America film series, a continuation of the television miniseries The Falcon and the Winter Soldier from 2021, and the 35th film in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, or MCU. The film was directed by Julius Onah from a screenplay by Rob Edwards and the writing teams of Malcolm Spellman and Dalen Musson, and Onah and Peter Glanz. It stars Anthony Mackie as Sam Wilson, alongside Danny Ramirez, Shira Haas, Carl Lumbly, Zosha Rookmore, Giancarlo Esposito, the well-esteemed actor, Liv Tyler, Tim Blake Nelson, and Harrison Ford.
Oh man. So okay, I'm gonna say this one was good to me, right? I like the direction that they're taking Sam Wilson's Captain America. Like, I think we talked about it a little bit I think maybe last week, but how they're kind of addressing some of these social difficulties that Sam has to go through, but also trying to push him forward as Captain America. You know, there's some things that you mentioned previously about, you know, the Captain America and how you thought he should go. I don't know if you remember, but how does that change? Did your idea of Captain America change from when you said what you said before until now after you've seen the film? Do you remember what you said about, like, your reservations about Sam Wilson as Captain America? I don't know if you remember.
I think one of my main reservations was him not having the super soldier serum, and them trying to figure out how can he be an effective Captain America without it.
Right. Yeah.
I still have that reservation after this movie, although I actually really enjoyed the movie.
Okay.
I love that Isaiah Bradley was a central character. That was a big plus for me. And just detailing his part of the story. But yeah, I know that Sam Wilson he never becomes a super soldier. I know that. There's a part of me that just it becomes a little bit of a struggle. I understand that he's in a vibranium suit, but some of the impacts that he's taking as a normal man, I think they just stretch too far. Him going against the Hulk. Now, they have notoriously nerfed Hulk in not just this movie, but they just, when they did Smarter Hulk, they eviscerated the Hulk. So Hulk is nothing like Hulk really should be in reality. But yeah, I still have those same reservations. I still do, even though I enjoyed the film. I feel like he would be so much better if he had the super soldier serum. I know they're not going to give it to him. The one thing that I will say that I absolutely despised, I mean, I say despised, I don't like this choice as a plot point. If you are a superhero and you know that there are aliens and there are super threats, there should never be a time that you don't have your suit and your gear. It is purely a plot device to put him in harm's way. Really, and I get it, but it becomes a little nonsensical because it's like, when is Iron Man ever without his suit?
Right.
And
even Black Panther had I said even Black Panther had the necklace where he just think about it and it just comes on. You know, they didn't have that access for him. So I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah, man.
Yeah, it becomes purely a plot point. Now, they explain that he has a Kevlar weave in his clothes, so that's what helped him from not being as injured when he got stabbed in the gut by an axe. But yeah, at the same time, to me, they don't need to give him weaknesses. I don't like when they give a character weaknesses when he's already struggling to prove who he is. But I mean, I understand, you know, where they're coming from with it.
Yeah. So we had Harris. Yeah, I liked it, man. So my reservations are kind of the same. I kind of wish he would take that super soldier serum, but I feel like they're trying to make him more humanized than Steve Rogers was, and I get it, but because he's already dealing with so much in society and people trying to accept him, which they kind of got away from in this film. They really didn't address it as much as they did in the Winter Soldier, the series.
Falcon and the Winter Soldier,
Falcon and the Winter Soldier. They really hit on the social aspect. In this film, it's kind of like taking her from there to becoming Captain America. Because you see, he had a lot of respect from the military, and even in the bar
people.
where he was, the people, so he's climbing that ladder, but they still kind of have him at bay because even in that disagreement that he had with Harrison Ford in the room, he's like, "You're no Steve Rogers." So even like that just kind of like solidifies that even though people may kind of be nice to him and show him some respect, they still don't see him as a true Captain America. Even the audience, I see it all the time on social media, like he's not Captain America. They should give Bucky the Captain America, such and such and such. And I'm like that's a struggle that we see in the story, but it's also stuff we see in reality. Like people have a hard time seeing us as more than, it's always a barrier or a ceiling that they try to place on, Black people. So it's a lot of relevant stuff in here that I liked. But I think they need to give him that super. It's funny because they kept having that callback in the movie, like, man, I should have took that serum, and Bucky was lying, like all of that stuff. They kept calling it back. So it's kind of lets you know that Marvel is paying attention to the audience and how they're talking, because they keep throwing like little jabs in there, and that's something I can appreciate.
Most definitely. Because every time he mentioned it, it was funny.
Yeah.
Because you can tell. I mean, he's one thing I will give them credit for. His internal struggle is there, and I think that what the movie did do was exemplify that even though there's some external stuff happening, he is really struggling within himself. How can I live up to Steve Rogers?
Yeah.
Still, and that conversation he had but still, after all he's done, that conversation that he had, with Bucky, where Bucky essentially encourages him to let him know that he chose you for a reason. I absolutely agree with you that they want to really make sure that we understand he's connected to humanity as a regular person, and that's what they want people to identify with his character. That he relies on the technology, but not on being other than human.
Yeah. What'd you think about the new Falcon? The new Falcon guy.
I think I actually like his character. He's a likable character for the most part. They keep it like they're joking in his interactions. So I like the dynamic between Anthony Mackie and him. Yeah. So that part I actually enjoy. I think that will work out, and if they continue to mature him, it will be. I think he's a good actor to fill in that role.
Yeah. One thread I liked it. I like him. One thread I see in their character development, like when they have like a younger character who's like trying to get in to like the group or the superhero group, they're kind of always extra eager, like Miss Marvel, Kamala Khan, she was extra overly eager to be a part. Tom Holland, Peter Parker, Spider-Man.
Peter Parker.
Peter Parker. Yeah. He was extra and like overly excited to be a part of like the Avengers and all of that stuff. So I think that's a common thread that, you know, like when they find somebody that's new and want to be a part, like they're always very eager to do it. And you know, I think that's cool. You know, so I feel like when they all get together, they're probably gonna have a scene where they're just all fanboying, fangirling out about being in the So I think it's gonna be cool.
How about juxtapose that to how Riri Williams is being portrayed?
Yeah,
is she
calm. I think she's more so like trying to do her own thing, you know, like trying to do her own thing, and that's something that I like about her character. Like I feel like she wants to make her name for herself and do her own thing. And then I think when it came to Black Panther, she was kind of like thrown into it. Like it's not like she wanted to be a part of it. She was thrown in, and now because she's there, she has to make the best of it. As opposed to kind of like everybody else. So, what you think?
You know, I feel like they're portraying her as a little bit less enthusiastic as some of the others, and maybe because of her background, having to really fight and scrape for survival.
Yeah.
But my hope is that when we get to the end of her limited series, she will come to that same level of really wanting to eagerly be part of the Avengers. When she has found herself, I'm hoping that that will happen for her, because that plays that for all those characters, that giddiness, that excitedness plays into them being younger people, because they have all this energy and excitement. So it kind of makes sense. Whereas all the other older characters are weathered and worn, and you know they've been doing this for a long time, so they know the reality behind it is not all going to be, you know, happy and joy.
Yeah.
So I feel like I want her to get to that place too, because that will make her an endearing character a little bit more.
Yeah. So one thing, this is kind of like building off of like the Incredible Hulk idea, like with Edward Norton. So you mentioned,
I love that they call back that this is essentially a sequel to that movie.
Yeah, it is, right? And I like the angle that they put. So for me, it's kind of like, why isn't the Hulk here? You know, like they're not talking about him. They're not like it's nothing. You know, I don't know. I feel like he should be a part of it in some way. Even with, you know, the Red Hulk situation, like they didn't allude to him being aware. Like even the daughter coming back to see her dad, like nothing about Bruce Banner was really there. And that's kind of like, I feel like they missed the opportunity to kind of like have him be a part of the story. I'm disappointed in the way that they've been portraying the Hulk. I feel like Smart Hulk should have been a solution to a problem, but after that, it's not relevant anymore.
He became a joke.
Yeah, he became a joke. He became a B character, and like the Hulk is not meant to be that way. He's meant to be enraged, passionate, strong, and a force to be reckoned with. And I think they took that away, and they diminished his character a lot, man. I don't like it, but yeah, that's another conversation, man. How you feel about like just the Hulk aspect?
Yeah, definitely. The nerfing of the Hulk is a no-go for me. What my remaining hope for the Hulk is, when we get to the point where we're in all-out war and we're dealing with lots of variants, I'm hoping that we get Ed Norton's Hulk as one of the variants, so we can see what the real Hulk is supposed to be like, while we still have Smart Hulk derping around. Because that would be hilarious to see in the full action fight. The real Hulk, Edward Norton's Hulk, really hulking out. and then Smart Hulk is over here making jokes. That would be a hilarious, comparison if we saw that on the screen.
So they saying that Edward Norton's Hulk is Mark Ruffalo's Hulk, right? That's what they're saying.
They are? Okay.
That's what they're saying. So, but for me, I'm going back to how the Incredible Hulk ended. Like they had an cut scene or whatever, when Bruce Banner was kind of like in the woods by himself, secluded, and he was like meditating. You know what I'm saying? And when he was meditating, he kind of unlocked the Hulk, because that was his thing. Like he was trying to figure out how to control it. So when I saw the Incredible Hulk, if y'all remember that, go watch it, man. He was meditating in the woods, and he was in the cabin, and they closed in on his face. He's meditating, and his eyes go green, and the movie cut off. So for me, that's kind of like, he found a way to kind of like tap into the Hulk and bring him out on command, right? So remember when in the first Avengers, right? And the first Avengers came, and they was like, right now it's about time for you to get angry. And Bruce Banner was kind of like, okay, I'm always angry. And he turned into the Hulk and smashed the big alien creature or whatever. But this is my thing, though. As the stories go along and he got beat up by Thanos and all of that, he talked about how him and the Hulk was kind of like conflicted with each other, and they really couldn't see eye to eye. And that's kind of like how he came up with Smart Hulk. So I'm just kind of like, did he not know how to control it, or did he? You know what I'm saying? Did he like what's the storyline there? Because at first you had him to where he could kind of like do it on command, but then he couldn't anymore. So like that Hulk is kind of weird. And then they diminished.
And then the Hulk saying no. The Hulk coming out to say no is crazy.
Yeah, because he wants to fight. He wants to be angry. He wants to be out. Because we saw that in Ragnarok. He didn't want to be Banner. You know what I'm saying? Like, he wanted to be the Hulk. He wanted to smash and be angry. So it's a lot of plot holes with the Hulk. I feel like they knew he was too strong and he was too wild to have, like, especially for like She-Hulk and all of that. So they kind of made this Smart Hulk thing like longer than it should have. And I'm just over it. I'm over that.
I agree with you. And I think all of this stems back to the fact that they actually don't have the full rights to the Hulk from Sony. Okay. I think that's one of the reasons why some of this has happened, because they only have some rights for putting him in like as a side character, but not as a main character. That's why the last one we got was the actual Hulk movie. It was the Incredible Hulk. And we haven't seen another Hulk movie because I don't believe Disney has the rights to it fully just yet. I might be wrong, but from the last time I looked into this, that was one of the factors. And that also that limits how they can use him, because whatever the rights are that they have, they can only work within a box. So I'm hoping they can resolve that, because I want to see Hulk smash for real.
Yeah, for real, man, and go in, bro. I waited so long for that Hulk and Abomination fight. I know we kind of not talking about the movie anymore, but yeah, I kind of waited for that so long. When it happened, I was like, man, that's dope. And then he didn't even come no more, man. So now they got the Red Hulk, which was dope, but he's not. I don't know if they're gonna use him anymore. I don't know if they're gonna use him again or what, because I don't know how that's gonna work. I mean, he was the Hulk, the Hulk that we kind of missed, but he was only in there for a little bit, and then Sam Wilson kind of talked him down, kind of did the hey, the sun's getting low type of thing. It kind of like took his power away. So yeah.
Yeah, man, the destruction of the White House, that was a great scene.
Yeah.
That was a really good scene. The way and then I would say this is probably one of the best parts of the movie was this like escalating fight scene because Sam is like, he's literally just like feet, inches. It goes from maybe like 3 feet to 1 to 2 feet to 1 feet to inches away from getting smashed by the Hulk. And we all know.
Yeah.
I don't care what Sam got on him. He cannot go toe to toe with the Hulk, with any Hulk, red or green. So he was just getting away by the skin on his teeth. And finally he gets caught. And it's like, dang. But he was able to talk him down because otherwise we wouldn't need no more Sam Wilson.
Yeah, for sure, man. Giancarlo Esposito, phenomenal job for the part he was in. I like. You don't like it?
I didn't like his part of it. I found myself saying I found a role that Giancarlo Esposito did that I didn't like. I didn't like his part at all.
Man, okay. What did you like about
it? That didn't feel genuine. So I didn't care for his character.
Okay, I got you. So was it like did he seem out of place to you? Like he shouldn't have been there? Like they could have had somebody else?
Yes. Let me say that. He's too big for the role that he had. That's the number one problem.
Okay.
Because they gave him this Sidewinder, and maybe this will come back in the future because, of course, these movies always have to put people in prisons that they know they will escape from. Mm-hmm. So, and they literally said it in the movie. So maybe he will become a bigger character later. I felt like he was a small character in this role, and it didn't fit him. He's too big for this character, and it just wasn't enough.
Yeah,
there wasn't enough gravitas to his character. So
I got you. I can understand that. I like when he was in there though. He was bad. He was cold with it though. That kind of fight that he had with Sam in the street. That was cool, but he did do away with him kind of quick. So I do understand what you're saying. Like as powerful as an actor as he is, the role didn't serve his magnitude.
His skills.
So I understand. Yeah, I got you.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
What did you think about the suit and all of the fighting style that we saw from Sam? Yeah. The movement style. How did you like that?
I thought it was great. Like I like how they showed his transition from the series to the movie, because in the series he was really trying to get with the shield and really trying to figure out how to incorporate that into like his style of fighting. And I think he nailed it, man. Even like throwing it and with the wings and how he flew and caught it and adding the wings and keeping the wings with his suit and the shield, it just gives him a further advantage because he doesn't have the serum. I think with the Wakanda power, the vibranium power, in his suit, it kind of like elevates his fighting and all of that. So I thought it was really well done. I love his suit. I think his suit is probably one of the best suits I've seen in the MCU. Just like it's clean. It has the accents of purple from Wakanda. It has the red, white, and blue, and it's clean. It's sleek, bro. His helmet is nice. Even when he was flying, he had the shield up, and his wings was kind of like guarding his shield. Kind of looked like a car. It's kind of like it was dope. It was dope.
I love that too. I thought that was probably also one of the better parts of the movie. I just want him to be more careful. He can't let the wings get ripped off. I don't want to see that happen in another movie. I love seeing him slice the wings off of the fighter jet with his wings. I thought that was super cool. And I love the drones that he can deploy. I love all that stuff. So I'm with you. The suit is great. I love the way it moves. It feels like they really are making the wings that we know they're metal, but they move. They feel fluid. They move like wings. So his whole acrobatics, all the stuff they're doing with him, super cool. Love that part.
his fighting style is really well done. It's really well coordinated, man. He's doing a great job, man. I don't know how long they plan on keeping him as Captain America, but as long as he's here, I'm enjoying watching him do his thing.
Absolutely.
Just to see where he came from, in the first Captain America or whatever. Not the first Captain America, but the Winter Soldier. But yeah, man, it was dope.
So what would you rate this film?
Conflicted, man. I was at an 8, and I think I'm gonna stay at an 8. I think I'm gonna stay at an 8. I think it could have been. I would like to see more from that Red Hulk situation. I would have loved to see more of that. But I think Harrison Ford did a great job. I was trying to look for something more, but I just feel like it's lacking something. It's just lacking. I can't put my finger on it, but I'm just gonna go with an 8. Go with an 8.
Okay, I'm going with a 7.
Yeah,
I'm going with a 7 on this one.
I heard that Harrison Ford may not return as Thaddeus Ross, because of health concerns.
He is very old.
Yeah, health concerns. I don't know what they're gonna do with Ross, man. Maybe that's why they put him in prison, so they kind of like tuck him away for later.
That makes sense. And now, if I'm remembering correctly, the original actor that played Ross died in real life, didn't he?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Because he was in the earlier movies. I can see his face. I just can't think of his name. Yeah, he died in real life. And them cast, I really think, even though Harrison Ford is a great actor, it's just like electing presidents. We got to stop putting all these old guys in this stuff. If you want to see him in another version of the film, or you want to keep making movies as Marvel does, I mean, if you get somebody that's 80 plus, you don't have too much. You're limiting yourself. William Hurt. There it is. Yeah, you're limiting yourself. So he's a great actor. I think he's just too old. He's been in so much, but he did well in this movie. I give him credit for that. He's in the raft, of course, as they do in these movies. They put him in the same prison with the person that he had imprisoned, who has already indicated that he's going to be able to get out. And based on his technology and his ability to manipulate stuff with just sound and light, he definitely getting out of the raft. He ain't going to be in there very long.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I like the callback to Samuel Stearns, the doctor from The Incredible Hulk, when he got, because I always wondered what happened to him. Like, they had that scene where the Hulk was kind of like spazzing out when he was trying to heal him, and he broke that thing, and then like the gamma started like dripping into his head. So I always wondered what happened to him. I thought it was cool that they brought him back as kind of like the orchestrator of all the craziness that was going on. I feel like they could have did more with him, but I think it served its purpose just to get the Red Hulk out into the open. So yeah, it was cool.
Great episode.
Yes, sir, man. Thank y'all for watching. If y'all have any questions, put it in the comments. If y'all have anything that y'all want us to watch and review, put that in the comments as well. And be sure to check it out. You have a light that is out of this world. Let it shine and be the richness that this world deserves. Much love, family. Be enriched.
Peace.